Here's how to play Die With a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. This song uses a lot of bar chords, so we're going to use a capo on the 2nd fret to simplify a lot of the song down. The basic chords we're going to need at the start are this G6 chord and this C major 7 chord, which are super easy to transition. You're also going to need this A minor 7 chord, this B minor 7 chord, and the E minor chord. We're going to occasionally be doing some weird things to these chords, like moving a finger here or there, but in essence, those are the basic chords you're going to need. The strumming pattern is super easy and you can use it throughout the entire song. It's just down, down, up, and you're going to repeat that over and over again for a 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6. And you can play every verse in this song by just going back and forth between this G6 chord and C major 7. And that's literally it. The pre-chorus of this song, that's the part that comes right after the verse with the lines, wherever you go, that's where I'll follow, just uses the chords in this order. C major 7, G major, B minor 7, and then we're going to do a variation on this E chord that adds a pinky on the 2nd fret of the G string. It's called E sus4, and you can play this once, and then take that pinky note and bring it down to the 1st fret, creating a E major chord for a brief moment at the very end. That entire pre-chorus looks a little something like this. And now we get to the chorus of the song that everybody knows. And we start on the words, if the world was ending, with this A minor chord, and then we're gonna do something kind of funny. We're going to take the chord and just remove our middle finger for the 2nd bar. So it looks like A minor 7, then just drop your middle finger, back to B minor 7, and then E minor. And you can basically repeat that 3 times in a row for the chorus of this song. After that E minor, you can also add this little bass walk up that goes 0, 2, 3 before you reach that A minor. After this B minor 7, it's E, and then open 2, 3. And finally, on that last line where they sing Die With a Smile, the chords change slightly. You'll start with this A minor 7 chord like normal, drop the middle finger like normal, but then we have this little riff, which is basically G to D over F sharp to E, and then back to this B minor 7. But if those chords look a little tricky to you, you can find a simplified version by just doing this G6, maybe this 2-finger version of D, then the E minor, which is 2 fingers and already pretty easy, and then the B minor 7 like normal. And so that might look and sound a little something like this. Finally, on the last line of the chorus, you go back to this A minor 7, and then you can drop your middle finger again for that kind of rested moment where the chords stop, or if you want, you can play a stronger D major chord and do the same rest. So that might look like A minor 7, then D, and you go back to that verse set of chords, which was just G6 and C major 7. And the last thing you need to know to play the entire song all the way through is that in the last chorus on the 2nd to last line, there are 2 brand new chords. It starts with A minor 7 like normal, then goes to B7, then E minor, and then A major. And from there, it just kind of goes back to the same stop, and then plays out our G major and our C chords. So we'll do a shorter playthrough that glues all of these parts together so you can see what it's like without the capo, and then we'll move on to our non-capo tutorial. So let's start with the intro. And our verse, we just go back and forth between these 2 chords. Now it's our pre-chorus, which just reverses the order. B minor 7, now our chorus. the D chord, this will lead you back to the verse 2 of the song. Let's finish it with the final chorus. Set of chords on the final chorus. And our D stop. And our outro is just like our intro. You can add some of these hammer-ons that I'm doing with my middle finger to make these chords sound a little more dynamic. On this G major chord if you'd like. If you're one of those brave souls that wants to try the song without a capo, you're going to need a couple of unique bar chords. But before you get to that, you can actually play these two very easy chords for all of the verses of this song. Just A major 7 and D major 7. On acoustic, I like to play the D major 7 down here. I think on electric guitar, you could also play it in this position, but I think sticking down here is really easy. It's a lot less motion. And you do the same strumming pattern and order that we had from the capoed version, which was down, down, up, and starting on A major 7, and then switching to D major 7. You go back and forth between these two chords for all of the verses of the song. And in the pre-chorus, you just reverse the order, starting with D major 7, then going to A major 7. Now our first bar chord, C sharp minor 7, which you're going to be using a lot in this song. And then we're going to do this version of F7, which is the same finger position as C sharp minor 7. But before we do this position, we're going to try to add our pinky onto the 4th fret of the G string, and we're going to keep our middle finger where it is, even though it's not being used right now, because we're going to go right back to that. So we'll play this F sharp sus4 chord, and then drop our pinky for that F7 chord. So that pre-chorus, D major 7, A major 7, C sharp minor 7. Now first, our sus4, and then our 7 twice. And this leads you to the chorus of the song, which uses yet another bar chord, the B minor 7, which we're going to start with here. And then for the next chord, what we're going to do is play this version of B minor 7 over E, but all you have to really think about is trying to lift your ring finger, leave the rest of the bar there, and make sure to incorporate this open E string into your strum. So that looks like B minor 7, drop the ring finger, then you move back to C sharp minor 7, and now you can just play regular F sharp minor and add in this little bass line if you want, going 2, 4, 5, leading you back to that B minor 7. So the entire progression in the chorus looks like B minor 7, drop the ring, C sharp minor 7, F sharp minor, 2, 4, 5. And that will loop twice. On the third time through, you still drop that ring finger, but now we add in this lick, which is A major, which you can play as a bar, then this E over G sharp, which if you want to add your middle finger for the full chord, you're welcome to, but you only need the top 3 strings. So A, E, F sharp minor, and then C sharp minor one more time. So you have to be pretty quick with your bar chords. It's A, E, F sharp minor, C sharp minor, back to B minor. And on that 4th and final chord progression, when you get back to this B minor, you can just stop with an E major chord and do a nice rest by cutting your strings. This will lead you back to the verses, which begin with that A major 7. Basically, everything in this song gets repeated over and over again. There is a bridge part, but the chords are just the same as the chorus chords. The B, drop that middle finger, C sharp minor, and that F sharp minor. After that soft bridge, you actually have a guitar solo that's pretty easy to play, so let me show it for you here. You play almost the whole thing on the G string, starting on the 6th fret, and and you add the same rhythm that we had with our strum. Down, down, up, down, up, down. Then you add the 7th and the 9th fret and go back to the 6th fret. Start it over. But instead of going back to the 6th fret the second time through, you'll slide all the way up to the 13th fret on the same string. And then the 11th fret with the same rhythm of picking. You repeat everything again. But the second time through the entire thing, instead of going up to the 13th fret, you go to the 12th fret on the B string and you can slide your way in there. With the same picking pattern. And lining up that rhythmic melody with 12, 14, and then down to 10 on that B string. So that's the entire guitar solo. And this just takes you to the final chorus of the song where you play the same sequence of chords, except after you do your run on the A major chord, which goes all the way down, and you go for this next position, instead of just stopping on that E major chord like we did last time, you're gonna introduce 2 new chords in one brand new extra line. You play it with the same strumming pattern, but you just need to remember that here the chords change to B minor 7 like normal, C sharp 7, F minor, and B. Then it goes back to B minor 7, and that E major with the stop that we had done earlier. And just like every chorus in this song, after you get to that E major, it leads you back to the A major 7 where you get to strum all the way through and continue the rest of the song. So let's try to put everything together. I'm gonna leave the chords on screen. We're gonna try to play through the entire song with all of the bar chords and all of the details. Here we go.